Showtime! The Capital G Show starts right now.
What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. So we're talking about ARG Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and asking the question, was this event potentially tarnished or tainted by cheating or accusations of cheating? So if you don't know what I'm talking about, and if you've been watching YouTube at all, at least Yu-Gi-Oh videos, you probably are up to speed by now, but there were two instances where alleged cheating happened. And first, we'll talk about Patrick Hoban because, I mean, he is a Nationals winner. This dude is generally recognized as one of the best players in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh, so we'll cover his situation first. Patrick Hoban was playing Necros and he came across a mirror match, and after game one, he and his opponent mutually agreed to side out Gen Releaser of Rituals so that neither player in games 2 or 3, if that was necessary, would have to deal with the Gen Lock. Now, what ultimately happened, and Patrick has already confirmed this, so it's not really alleged at this point, was Patrick actually sided out one copy of Gen Releaser of Rituals and then immediately sided in another copy of Gen Releaser of Rituals while his opponent simply sided one out. Now, obviously, it goes without saying that the opponent believed that neither player would be playing Gen Releaser of Rituals in games 2 or 3 if necessary, so that it would kind of be an equal playing field. They wouldn't have to deal with that one play. Patrick still technically fulfilled the agreement because he did side deck one out, but then he sided one in. The question is, would you consider this cheating? And then we have to even go one step further. Now, I'm not going to bring up the textbook definition of cheating through Webster or anything like that because it's largely irrelevant. But do you personally consider this cheating? Now, I think that everyone would agree that this was deceitful, but the question is, are there any rule violations here? Now, what makes this situation so, I guess, so difficult to decide upon is this was not a Konami event. This was Ultra Reality Games. Now, as far as I've been able to tell, there is no public record of what all the policies and rules are for an ARG event, which makes it really difficult to kind of decide if he may have broken one of their rules. Again, it is quite possible that Hoban may have broken an ARG rule and not broken a Konami rule, or vice versa. As far as I can tell, there is no one who really knows all the rules for ARG events except ARG staff and people who work for ARG. Now, a lot of people have immediately jumped to Hoban's defense saying, you know, no, he didn't cheat or anything like that. That depends on your definition of cheating and who you're actually going by. Now, I actually found this. This is coming from Konami's official website. You can see the logo right there. Although this is the, these are rules based off of the OCG. You see that this is, again, official rules and violations. This is actually the latest update out of any rules and regulations for any part of the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. You see this is from 2014, April 22nd. And if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, prohibited items and tournament etiquette, general misconduct and rules violations. We're going to scroll down a little bit. Tournament etiquette. During the event, duelists are liable for penalties if they exhibit inappropriate or malicious behavior. Common rules to follow include, important part here, but not limited to, number 5, always aim for a fair duel and its smooth progression. I would say emphatically that anyone with a brain or an IQ higher than a jar of mayonnaise would say that Patrick Hoban obviously violated this rule. I mean, he used what most would consider an underhanded tactic to kind of mislead his opponent into thinking that there would be no copies of Gen Releaser of Rituals in the duel for the remainder of it. And obviously, he still sided one in. So if you just looked at this rule right here, and I'm not even talking about the spirit, I'm just talking about the rule verbatim, he broke it. And that's pretty much inarguable. But again, it goes back to the fact that ARG is not beholden to Konami's rules. So, I mean, who knows what their rules are? So it could be quite possible that he didn't even break any of those. So, I mean, this is a little up to interpretation. In my opinion, I think that integrity is part of the game. And I think that it is a requirement of every duelist. And I think that, I mean, you can kind of put anything under player conduct. So I actually believe that he did cheat. I don't believe that he is technically a cheater. Now, we're going to go to the second part. A player named Travis Smith actually got second place at ARG Fort Lauderdale, and he was actually disqualified. In fact, they didn't even end up streaming the finals match because apparently he cheated. I know that there was an accusation of him summoning Gaga Cowboy in defense and attempting to use the effect. I'm not sure if he actually resolved it or not, but he had a Necros of Unicorn field. Now, a lot of people may forget this, but Necros of Unicorn negates all monsters from the extra deck, not just your opponents. So obviously, if he did burn his opponent for game, that is an illegal activation. And I mean, they pulled this dude straight out of the event. I'm probably sure they didn't give him any prizes. The point is they disqualified him. Now, it is kind of unclear what ARG is going to do with Hoban, if there will be any reprimands, but I'd have to say, just if I was ARG, I'd be emphatically pissed right now. I would be beyond myself. I'd be livid because this is one of the players that we sponsor. We literally fly this guy around for multiple events. He is pretty much the face of our company when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! We've created, different artworks for this guy. We let him broadcast and commentate on the streams. We pay this guy to write articles, and then he pulls this shit at one of our events. I mean, in this, all for the name of what? For topping an event when he's already top decked, or he's already topped probably 50 ARGs. I just think that it was completely unnecessary. I think it was more or less responsible because you have to think that ARG technically employs Patrick and they sponsor him. So I think this is a really bad look. And I think that based on what they decide to do with Hoban, that's going to speak a lot for the character of a company like ARG, because right now I question their integrity, because you got this event and one of the guys in the final you end up disqualifying. Then you have Hoban kind of using underhanded tactics when clearly he's one of the best players in the world. I don't even think he would have needed to do this to win this match, and he ended up losing anyway. So what does it really, like, what was it all for? So let me know what you guys' opinions are. Let me know if you guys think that he cheated or not, because again, by the letter of this Konami rule, he did cheat, but nobody knows the rules of ARG. Leave that in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching as always.